Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm actually gonna tell you the story about how I was the one who actually invented the Kindle, okay? So if you're new around here, welcome. My name is Dahlia, also known as a Handmade Mastermind. I make videos to help people grow their business, drive traffic to their website, and things of the like. So if that sounds of interest to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notifications bell as well so you can receive notifications when I post new videos, okay? So this is kind of a interesting story because you might be rolling your eyes saying, you invented the Kindle? Really? Why aren't you a billionaire by now? Well, let me explain. I actually invented the idea way before the Kindle was brought about, right? So no, I wasn't the one that brought the idea to Amazon. I wish I did. But it was indeed pretty much my idea, and I'm gonna explain to you how that came about. Okay, now for the record, the only people who actually believe me, I didn't tell the story to many people, but just the family. I'm not sure if I even told my parents, but the only people that actually believe me are my husband and my sister, the sister that actually owns a business. The other sister does not believe me, neither does the rest of my siblings. And, well, my little brother does believe me, but nobody else. And actually, there's not much people left that I told that don't believe me, but then, nonetheless, they for some reason think I am making it up. I think it is fairly hard to believe, but it's indeed true. So story time starts now. I went to college for well, I graduated in, with a bachelor's in marketing, okay, and I had a class where I think it was like marketing something, I don't know what it was, and one of the assignments was to create a product that solves a problem. And so you think of a problem and create a product that solves it, okay, and here's where all the meat comes in of where I invented it. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of walk you from start to finish what the idea was, fully, and everything I did for that idea. Okay, so I realized the problem that we had as college students, and it may still exist now. I just haven't been in college for over 10 years. I graduated, I think, about over 10 years ago, maybe 11. And I realized the problem we had was we carried so much textbooks. They were very heavy. There was a lot of them. I was a geek or a nerd, and I tended, I went to school full time, so my school day was full of classes back to back, so a lot of times I would need the textbooks with me, and so the backpack became very, very heavy. Anyway, I felt that that was a problem for amongst a lot of students. Not everyone, but amongst a lot. Carrying these heavy books was, it felt really unnecessary. It hurt a lot of people's backs. I saw people also using, those rolling type of backpacks that you roll on the floor, which is fine, I guess, but people, didn't want to use those because they look very geekish. So anyway, the point is, the problem I was trying to solve was, hey, we carry a lot of textbooks. Textbooks are usually fairly thick and heavy, and we don't want to carry them anymore. So how do you condense all that material into something that is not so heavy? So I came up with the idea of, well, what they call it now is a Kindle, or any e-reader. But for me, I actually don't remember if I called it something, just to be honest. I'm sure I did. I'm sure we'd come up with a product name, but it's been over 11 years, so I don't remember. But it resembled, and I created an ad campaign for it, and I'll explain to you in a second, but it resembled the e-reader, the Kindle. And the way I created it was that I took a laptop. So I'm really familiar with Photoshop. So I took a laptop, I took the screen of the laptop, took off the keyboard, again, all in Photoshop, and I turned it to its side so it looks like a Kindle. And so you would see pretty much the screen and then a border around it, which, like I said, is a Kindle pretty much. And that was what my invention was. And pretty much, it acts just like the Kindle, where you have the screen and that's where you read off of it, okay? But mine functioned a little differently. I mean, in my defense, 11 years ago, technology was not as advanced as it is now. You guys know that. So for me, the solution was, instead of selling textbooks that are big and heavy, you would sell almost like, not really SIM cards, but little cartridges. So, you know, the size of maybe, you know, a fourth of your cell phone, or something small, almost like, you know, remember Nintendo? And that's what I was thinking about, Nintendo, how you insert the cartridge, but obviously much smaller level. So if you had, you know, 5 textbooks, you'd have instead 5 cartridges. And you would, let's say if you had Economics 101 textbook, you would take that cartridge, insert it into your, you know, e-reader, Kindle, whatever you called it that I invented, and then you're able to access that textbook, okay? So that was my idea. So instead of, you know, carrying all these textbooks, you would purchase from the bookstore. That's where we purchased our textbooks. Online wasn't, I mean, there was textbooks online, but the market wasn't as saturated as now. You would buy these cartridges instead. And the beauty of this is that the copyrights still remain, you know, safe, because it's in this cartridge. So if I want to sell this cartridge to somebody else, you know how you sell your used textbooks, you can. When it comes to digital, it's a little bit harder, because you still have the information on your e-reader. Granted, there might be a tool or something that if you decided to, you know, sell your digital form of book, then it would come off your e-reader, but I'm not sure if that even exists. I mean, I don't think you could, you know, when you buy books online right now, you own it. You don't sell it back to somebody else. It's a digital form. So in this case, this also allows you to sell your used textbooks, which is your used cartridge textbooks, to other people. So that I thought was a fantastic solution. And so we had to come up with a product idea, ad campaign, and all of sorts. So that's how that functioned. And for the ad campaign, I thought about, again, the problem that it solved. It solved the problem of, you know, the person who doesn't want to carry a lot of textbooks. And I decided to, I'm not sure how to say this or articulate this, but reach into their fears. Besides it being heavy and it hurts your back, it also was a coolness factor, okay? Meaning people didn't want to appear geeky or uncool when they have all these textbooks, and it's also very inconvenient. So my ad campaign, which by the way was a commercial, I didn't actually do the commercial. I did photos that showed you a storyline of what the commercial looked like. And it was really simple. I had one scene where a geeky guy, okay, had his, you know, a whole bunch of textbooks, and it was like falling out of his backpack, and a girl was trying to check him out, and then when the the books fell everywhere, she was laughing at him, right? And so he wasn't cool, he wasn't as attractive, okay? And then the next scene was, you know, him walking also past. It was on the campus we took the pictures. I used both of my friends, a fairly attractive guy and, you know, pretty attractive girl, and he was holding what my invention was, which was an e-reader. By the way, I had to actually Photoshop this in. Again, I took a laptop, I took away the keyboard, I adjusted it to be, you know, vertical, and I had him, well, not vertical, but I had him hold it. So it looks like he was just holding an e-reader, and that's all he had. No backpack, no nothing. And he looked smooth and suave, and just nothing was holding him back. Nothing was really bringing him down. And he was walking through the campus, and, you know, and I believe, I don't remember the exact storyline, but I know she was like checking him out. And then I believe because she was like breaking her neck to check him out, that she tripped and fell. So he looked like the cool one, and she was not, because she still had her old ways of holding textbooks and stuff. So the ad campaign was really speaking to the college student, where, you know, you don't want to carry this money. Yes, it's heavy and annoying, but you don't look cool. And that's what I was trying to reach. And so that was my ad campaign for this e-reader. Now, granted, you know, this product I created, or the idea, honestly, I didn't actually physically create the product, was meant for textbooks. But you know, in my defense, if I did actually end up following through and inventing it, I would have owned the rights to e-readers of some sort. So people who wanted to use it, such as Amazon, to put books in there and things like that, it probably would conflict with my design. And you know, I think, I'm not sure of the details, but the copyright for the design, as well as the use of how it gets used, even though it's not textbooks they use it for. I mean, they might, I don't know, but they use it for books. I think that would still infringe on my copyright. I would still have gotten bank for it. But the reality is, I did not follow through with it. I thought it was a fantastic idea. But 11 years ago, there was no such thing as Shark Tank. There's nothing of the sort. And you know, I'm sure there are things that help people with inventions. While I thought it was a great idea, I mean, obviously I just didn't follow through, and I don't know why. I think because of lack of resources, or maybe I was just like, it's a regular idea. Ebooks were not invented at that time, obviously, because I invented it first. I really did. Now, so I didn't follow through. Here I am, broke as a joke. No, I'm not broke, but here I am, not a billionaire, okay? However, there has been some follow-up questions from my family members regarding this idea. They're like, okay, you invented it. Have you checked to see if maybe your, you know, college professor was the one that ended up giving the idea to Amazon, or any of the students within that class, etc. and so forth? I said I have. So it's among my research, because I knew what year I graduated from college, and I knew that my class was obviously before I graduated. So amongst my research, I found that, and forgive me, I don't have the exact dates at the moment, but when I did research it many years ago, I realized my college professor was not the one that gave the idea to Amazon, okay? Yes, he could have sold the idea to somebody else, but that's a stretch, okay? Let's just call it that, you know, like that. And none of the students, you know, were the ones to give the idea to Amazon. Not that I remember all the students' names, but based on the background of the person who invented, you know, that was me, but you know, for them, invented the idea, their background was much more like Yale, Harvard, like type of situation background, and that was definitely not a college student of mine, you know, a classmate of mine, and definitely was not the professor. I'm sure the professor was very smart, but definitely, you know, not Harvard graduate sort of thing, you know. I did not go to Yale, so I definitely did not have a Yale graduate college professor. The point is, the idea was not taken from me, given to Amazon, so I feel good about that. You know, but people do question sometimes these college classes where professors make students, because students are brilliant, come up with these ideas, and then in turn the college professor, you know, really hones in on the idea and develops it, and then gives it to, you know, big box, you know, retailers or whatever. I've heard of that. I don't know if that's really true. I do recall that when I joined this class, I was very excited about the project. I told one of my friends, well, my sister's friend, but she was also my friend, and she ended up saying that she also came out with the idea of what we know now is the Venus razor, where it has the built-in, and this is the thing of the past, you know, it's been around forever now, but you know how razors have the built-in shave gel, like the aloe strip or whatever, you know, with a whole bar around it is pretty much soap, not soap, but you know, something more, you know, softening. She came up with that idea, and then, you know, years later it came out. The point is, I don't think anybody stole it from me. I think that while it was a great idea, you know, we have how many people in this world? I don't know, billions. And so there's a good chance somebody else come up with the idea because it solves a problem. You know, it wasn't a unique problem to me, and that was the key. I had to think of a problem that actually affected a lot of people. Therefore, the product would be successful. And I remember, I also made a TV spot commercial. And I believe I made a radio ad. It's such a fuzzy memory. But I'm not 100% sure if it was a radio ad that I made for that, or maybe a potentially different product. Not 100% sure. Nonetheless, that's my story. And I'm very proud of that story, because not because I'm not a billionaire by now, but because I have the ability to take a problem that affects a large group of people and create a product that solves it. Not just any product, but a product that really, that I remember during we had to present our, our presentation, the product, the ad campaign, everything. And the teacher challenged the students to make sure that they challenge a presenter, because the idea was, hey, if you create this product to solve problems, we might have questions, we might poke holes in your product. I kid you not. Okay, I was fairly a big geek. But I thought of everything to make sure that it was smooth, almost like when you enter the Shark Tank. If you guys watch Shark Tank, you know this. Sometimes they poke holes and they end up not taking the deal. There was no holes to poke. And I made sure of it because I made sure that everything I wanted to function the way, and like if somebody's like, well, how do I sell the used, the used textbooks? Well, it comes in a cartridge. You could sell it like that. It was so, I thought of everything. And so when the end of the presentation happened, nobody had questions. I kind of felt like the king of the world. And that was it. So I just want to share my story. I just want to share it because I think it's just a fun story. There's nothing else. There was no other reason why I want to share it with you guys. Obviously I have a business background. I graduated with a marketing degree. Not that honestly that matters. Most of the things I learned in business is things I learned in the real world. But I thought it was just fun because I think of that and I'm just super proud of it because of the idea and where it's been taken now. E-readers are everywhere. I mean, audio books, digital books, Kindle, I mean, everything, And so I'm not even sad about it. Some people might ask me, are you sad about it? I'm like, no, first of all, I don't live in the past. I don't live with regret. I try not to. I don't live with anger. I hate that. So I'm okay with it. But I just thought it'd be a fun story to share with you and to show you indeed that I was the one who actually invented the idea of the Kindle. Okay, anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was just a fun video, and just to kind of share some insight as to how my brain works, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd be interested to hear down below what you think of the idea that I came out with, regarding textbooks, okay? Obviously now it's even much more. People use it for regular books, etc. But what do you think of the idea for textbooks? And also comment below if you ever came up with the idea yourself and then you found out years later that has been invented, or if you thought of an idea and then you realized, oh, it's already been invented, but you didn't know. Comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, okay? And if you want to see more videos like this, well, not exactly like this, but similar to this regarding business to help you grow your business and all that stuff, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notifications bell so you'll always receive notifications when these new videos come out. Okay, guys? I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Okay? Bye.